Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 71 of the Double Cross Anime Podcast. I'm Whooper.
And I'm Mario. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Getting a little nervous because we're about to go head to head in a contest of taste and sophistication with regard to this decade. Those of you who follow the channel, or if you just stumbled upon this video, you know that 3 months ago Mario and I ran down our respective top 50 of the decade lists. And now we're revisiting them 3 months later. We're comparing them and we're like adding together kind of the sum total of both lists to see what our joint top 30 is going to be and what we've rewatched since then and how we're feeling about the decade as a whole. So
Yep.
we're this week, instead of talking about seasonal anime or the new fall season or anything, we're just going to talk about the decade.
Yep. I just want to add some correction that this is no contest at all because my taste is always more superior than Whooper's.
Right. Yes. No arguments
just look
here.
Just look at my number one. You will know.
Oh, right. Yeah, we'll include a link to the ballots here in the description of the video. I think I did that last time, so we'll do that again this time. And I mean, there's a lot of overlap, so we do have similar preferences, I guess.
Yep. We do.
But we've got some
lot.
differences.
Yep. There is a lot of overlaps on our share list, I think, at the end.
Yeah.
So, yep, that is good.
Yeah, we got some differences as well. So we're going to talk about what's the same, what's different, how we're feeling, etc. So
Yep.
I have a little outline over here. And the first thing I think that we ought to talk about is what changed. So between 3 months ago and now, what shows have you removed from your top 50? What have you added? Why?
Yep.
And what other shows perhaps that you plan on rewatching in the next couple of months might make it as well. So how about what have you removed and what have you added?
All right, you want me to start first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Compared to the list that I have 3 months ago, this time I actually watch some shows that you from your list that you recommend me to watch. I watched Hunter x Hunter, not the entirety of that though. I watched like the until the Chimera Ant. I'm in the middle of the Chimera Ant right now.
Okay.
It's really good. Hunter x Hunter. I mean, it is like the classic shonen shows. It more than classic shonen show. It have like, I do think it does have basically everything.
It's basically everything.
Yeah. Well,
what do you mean by that? Like,
all right,
like specifically, what about it is...
All right, specifically, they have everything that a good action show has.
Like what?
And it's even more. Like it have like a really good acts. Like it have like a good development. They know how to building up the tensions. Yeah. They introduce like a whole lot of like side characters.
That's true.
And a group of characters that have like personality of their own, and they have like their own act as well. So like you can really tell apart one character from another's, and you know like how and they are all different from each other's.
Right.
So I love the characters of Hunter x Hunter. I love the central relationship between the two kids, because I think that the white-haired kid he gonna be, you know, dangerous in the future.
Killua.
Yeah, I don't know if it's spoiler or not.
Well, you wouldn't be spoiling anybody. You haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, he's dangerous already. He's an assassin. He comes from a family of assassins.
Yep. I think on one of the big act in the future is going to be him against the rest of our team.
Oh, really?
And
that's an interesting prediction.
And the main guy isn't like it's still running at the moment. So yep, that might happen in the future, sometime
The
in the
main
future.
guy is doing what? Gon?
Um, the manga.
Oh
Yeah, the
yeah,
main
the
guy is
manga
gone.
is right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I mean, yeah, you mentioned the central relationship between Gon and Killua. That's
Yep.
that's what keeps a lot of people watching, I think. If they have an
Mm.
interesting relationship, like one of the things that I like about Hunter x Hunter is that it doesn't cling so fiercely to like goodness and moral righteousness like a lot of other
Mm.
shonen series do. Gon is like he's not concerned with doing what's right all the time. I was
Mm.
rewatching some of the Phantom Troop arc recently, and there's an episode
Yep.
where they meet a guy named Zepile. He has like the really long sideburns. He was a con artist. I don't know
All
if you
right.
remember this. It was like he only appeared in a handful of episodes, and Gon is
Yep.
like really interested in the mechanics of Zepile's job, like how he created forgeries and how he cheated people out of their money and stuff. And
Mm.
he's just whatever interests him, he
Mm.
will he will ask questions about and he'll want to learn about and do for himself. Like he's just a passionate person. He cares a lot for his friends. He really wants to find his dad. And if he has to do something that's quote unquote wrong, if he has to do something immoral or that might hurt other people in order to
Yep.
find his father or protect his friends, he'll do it.
Mm.
And obviously Killua, like to an even greater extent, he is an assassin by trade. Like he's
Yep.
not out here, you know, going through the exact same beats every single arc, like telling the villain that they're wrong because they don't value human life
Yep.
or anything like that.
So there
The
is no righteous characters here,
Yeah, I
and
mean, you could certainly argue that the heroes are perhaps
more
more on
righteous.
the side of justice than the villains, let's say. And I mean, you haven't even gotten to Chimera Ant yet, so that becomes a large part of that arc. But it just
Mm.
doesn't. It's not so tired. Like when I watch Hunter x Hunter, I don't get tired of characters who are talking about like, you're killing people and you don't value human life, and that's why you have to be stopped. And I'm gonna beat you with the power of friendship and everything.
Yep. And even like to the Phantom Troop Act, the main riding plot is Kurapika trying to revenge on his troop, and that was like the basic of that is really dark. It's a really dark arc,
Yeah,
and there's like also there's no righteousness as well in that.
yeah. I mean, Kurapika is the quote unquote hero, or I
Mm.
should say protagonist, because he's really not a hero.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and he just wants to kill the spiders.
Yep.
I love the Phantom Troop arc, dude. I love all the members of the Phantom Troop so much.
Yeah, well, and even like the villains are really interesting for me. They are
Yeah.
not like um they are not really like there to rule the world, change the world. You know, they have like different perspective. Like the leader of the spiders, I think he's a really interesting character.
Yeah,
I don't
Crawlo.
I still don't know much about him yet,
Yeah,
but
he's really cool.
and Hishoka as well. Oh my god, that guy.
Yeah, I assume you've seen Greed Island.
I have seen Great Islands, yeah.
Yeah, so you know about Hisoka's role in that.
Yep.
It's interesting how the show can create like temporary allies or temporary heroes even out of like murderers,
Yep. Mm.
straight up villains. The show is just
Right.
it's interested in its own universe that it's created more than it's interested in delivering like a message. It feels to me.
Yep. Yep. I sense that a lot of thought put into like the world play in Great Islands. I sense like the geek sense of the mangaka when he created
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely. And the whole Nen system as well is just super nerdy.
Yep. So to get back to our topic, so I have Hunter x Hunter. Like I have seen just half of them, but I think it's already good enough to play within my top 20. I think that is in number 20 for
Damn.
me so far.
Okay.
So it's gonna be improved if or not if I watch the whole thing by the end.
Right.
The,
I mean,
the show.
Chimera Arc is very different from what's come before, so there's no guarantee you'll like it.
All right, that's interesting. Like I watched the first 10 episode of Chimera Eye, but I can still, I think I can figure out. No. Just don't say that. No, just I want to be surprised by myself. So
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Gotta watch it.
yep,
So what did you remove for
Uh,
Hunter x Hunter?
yep. So the show that I removed from a Kiss on the Slope. I just
why is
think
that?
I just think that the show doesn't hold up very well in writing, in characters development. It have like a really good like the character movement are really expressive. The attention to the music is really good, but other than that, I don't feel that Kid on the Slope hold up very well.
Did you rewatch it at all?
No, I don't. But it start falling off to me. Like the more I think about it.
I just remember you saying that like the two series that were on the bubble for you last time were Ronya the Robber's Daughter and
Yep.
and Yet the Town Moves.
Yep, and they are actually improved.
Oh, okay.
Well, I haven't watched them, but I have like more fun memories of them now.
Yeah, it's not as though you can rewatch everything in preparation for a project like this. You know,
Yep.
it does have to do with how you feel about it, you know, your memories of it.
Yep. So actually, the two shows that are in the bubble right now, for me, is that the time that I can review that?
Yeah, why not?
Are Durarara and River Starlight.
Ah, all my review Starlight negativity is wearing you down.
Well, not really, but
Okay.
so
Well, that's
I think
interesting because I know you really loved Review Starlight, or rather,
Yeah.
it was one of your favorites from last year. I don't know if really loved is appropriate. That's up to you.
yeah, that's right. Review Starlight. I still feel that the show has like some moment of brilliance. It's really good. It really feel originals, but like most part of that they have others, just like a normal standard arcs between the side characters, and I think it's more like filler. So like some characters are more important than the others.
Yeah, a lot of
Not in a good
the
way.
12. How many girls were there? Were there 12 or 8?
No, 6 I think. Not that much.
No way. There were a bunch of
All
different
right, we
names on
have
that
1,
list.
2,
That
3,
board.
All right, we have the main girl, Karen.
There's
We
Karen,
have
and then her two roommates.
her two
Then we
roommates.
have Banana,
Yep.
and then
We
we have
have,
the
like,
red
the-
hair and blue hair.
All right, who is the? All right, red hair, blue hairs, and we have the glasses girl, the girl who wear glass. So how many of them? 7.
Yeah, there's the glasses girl, and then there's the two girls who are competing for the top spot, like Tendo Maya, who's the strongest.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the girl with the tan, kind of blondish tan hair,
Yep,
who's
yep,
always
yep,
right
yep.
behind her. So that's 9, and I'm pretty sure there's
The
one
f-
more to make it 10.
All right. No. I think I remember like one of her classmates is the odd one out, the one who always forever alone. So maybe it's just 9.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there were definitely more
yeah.
than like 6. Yeah, and
Yeah, true.
a bunch of them didn't really. I don't know. They just didn't seem to get their due.
Yeah, that's right. They're not that fleshed out. They feel more like a filler characters.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't really like to use that word, but
Yeah. Well,
not super strong.
right.
Anyway,
Yep. How about you?
so you
Because-
you took off Kids on the Slope. Okay. Well, that
Yep.
that makes sense to me. I mean, it's not as though anybody's preferences or tastes like will necessarily make sense to somebody else.
Mm.
But Kids on the Slope, when I rewatched it, and I did rewatch the entire thing this year, I found it to be
Yep.
super melodramatic and just not really tightly constructed. There were some
That
leaps in
that's right.
logic, I think, on some of the characters' parts. Like the main guy was constantly misunderstanding the female protagonist and like getting in his own head about whether she likes him or not, and him thinking everybody hates him. And
Yep.
at the very end, Centauro like runs away to go be a priest on an island, and there's that time skip, and it's all just very weird. I don't know.
All right. I remember distinctly. There is a moment. There is a sequence where Kintaro, that what his name is.
Centauro, I
Um,
think.
Sentaro. He trying to live when when he heard the news that his father gonna come back.
Right.
So we end the episode with him about to leave. The next thing we know, the next episode is our main guy actually talk him out of that. So he actually stay and greeting his father. During like the middle of that episode, we have like he involved into the accidents, the bicycle accidents on
Right.
motorbike, and has his sister getting hurt, and then because of that he actually run away again
Yeah.
in the span of one episode. So like like the start of the end of the next episode and the end of the previous one and the end of the next one are actually just basically the same thing. He run away anyway.
Right. And I
It
took
just it,
I took notes as I
it
was rewatching that episode.
yeah, it's just too weak for me. And actually the main guy actually feel relief when it's not his friend who actually was in the accident. How bad is that?
Yeah, I remember that. The thing that makes that episode where the accident happens, the things that makes it so like unimpressive and makes you feel kind of distant from the characters is that it's all told from Kaoru's point of view, like the main character's point of view. It's not told from Sentaro's point of view.
Yep, yep,
So when
that's right.
Sentaro leaves, you're like, what are you doing? You don't really know what he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
At least you don't get like a good enough impression of it.
Yep.
And then the final episode, the one after that, is like everything just comes rushing at you. They're like he goes to the island or whatever, like the countryside where Sentaro is a priest, and they have like a jam session in a church, and then they both run out, and
Yeah.
Richan is there for some reason, and I don't know, dude.
Oh, yep. All right. So that was mine. So only one change from mine so far.
Yeah.
How about you?
All right, I got to do mine fast if we're gonna stay on topic. Okay, so the three that I dropped first, I guess. Tanaka-kun is always listless. I rewatched this show. I had good
Yep.
memories of it, and now that I've seen it again, I still do really like the concept of the series.
Yep.
The one guy at the center who is like extremely zen,
Yep.
and everyone around him kind of is like impressed by that or flustered by that. They can all bounce off of his kind of extreme listlessness. However, there were a handful of episodes where it was just too fluffy.
Yeah.
And by fluffy, I don't mean the sort of feeling that the show is giving off of like warmth, because that's one of its good qualities. I mean fluffy like just literal fluff. Nothing super significant is going on. It might spotlight a character who's already been introduced in an interesting fashion and then just puts them on screen again, and doesn't do much extra with them, and that kind of feels like a waste. So I didn't like feeling that way. There were probably like 4 episodes like that, so I just decided to bump it off the list.
Yep. All right.
Orange is another show that I dropped off the list. I did rewatch that as well, and
How
it's
you feel
still
about the production?
the production.
Yep.
It was about the same as I remembered. There were like
Right.
probably 3 episodes where it like mega sucked.
Yep.
And to be honest, those left like a really strong impression on me. I
Mm.
don't think that it was awful overall. I certainly think that it tanked because it started out looking really nice.
Mm.
Um, but the gap between the way it looked at first and then the way it looked in some of those later episodes was like really jarring for me.
Yep.
However, I still enjoyed rewatching it,
Mm.
and it's still like really, it's it the main guy's he struggles with depression,
Mhm.
and the the sorts of things that he would think to himself about everyone being better off if he weren't around, and just feeling as though he's too tired, he can't get through the day, and lying to people constantly and lying to himself about how he feels. Like it still hit home with me every time.
Mm.
But I did feel as though the drama of it all
Mm.
was kind of like the show got wrapped up in itself a little bit, and the drama of it all was kind of heightened.
Mhm.
So I don't want to put the show on here just because it like really speaks to me.
All
Um,
right. All right. Mm.
like a show like Anohana, for example, I would never have on my list because that is just like,
So heightened drama.
yeah,
So
yeah,
dramatic.
kind of. And I feel like
Yeah.
Orange is kind of doing a similar thing, like the whole way that it's structured, where you get stuff in the future,
Mm.
where the characters are like looking back and they're like, "Oh, we have to save Kaoru or Kakeru."
Mm.
Um,
Kakeru. Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I still enjoyed it the second time through. I might even put it back on the list 2
Yep.
months from now, but
All right.
I kicked that one off for the time being. And then Girls Last Tour, I just that one's simple. Like I think there's a string of 3 episodes near the middle that all suck.
All right.
And I've always thought that ever since I first saw it. So I just decided to bump that off. I didn't even bother rewatching it.
All right. I just have a quick comment on Orange and Glass Tour. Haven't watched Tanaka-kun, except for the first episode, so I won't recommend on that. Orange, I I feel the Kakeru character as well, so I think that it's really well done. The way that the show portray his depression and suicidal thought are really well done. Um, I like the drama of that. I don't like the romance though. I feel the romance is just there's something um some extra flavor that doesn't add much for the shows for me.
Well, how do
Um,
you like? What is the show
yeah,
going to do with itself if without that romantic element? How would you?
I I would rather they have just friends, just best friend, and they try to help Kakeru getting better. It's much better. Have like a more special relationship than act- actually getting into the romance. I think the three-way romance between him, the girl, and Shua are contrived for me.
I don't think so. I mean, because they introduce it near the very start of the show, the fact that they're both attracted to each other. And he
Yeah.
he starts going out with the older girl, but that doesn't last.
Yep.
And it's you know that he's always been interested in her. The show is clear about that.
Yeah. Well, I just don't like. Well, I just don't like that aspect of the show. I think
No, I think it's
too much
okay.
romance. Yep. Good
There's
last
not
two
that there's
though.
not that much.
It ain't much. It's a bit much. They actually hang out together. They blah 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 blah. Oh my god.
Okay.
Poor Shua. That guy deserves better.
No, that's not true. Nobody deserves anything when it comes to romance. Things just work out one way or another.
All right. For good last two, I still think that this show is actually more sophisticated than it let on. Still really like many ideas behind that. The world is hopeless. What we can do right now is just to live on, enjoy the little things of life. actually really like it. I like the whole settings. I like the the wicked sense of humor. I do feel like sometimes it's getting a bit too comfy, but even like in that world, but like I still really enjoy Galactor. All right, so what do you replace those three with?
Really fast. K-On!
Yep,
Season 2, Mobile Suit
mm-hmm.
Gundam: The Origin,
Yep.
and Horomusuko: Wandering Sun.
All right, I'm
So
actually surprised of the Mobile Suit Gundam the Origins.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the production value is insane.
All right,
Like
is that the one who
it
written by
might be the
Okada?
most beautiful. It might be the most beautiful show on my list.
Wow, wow. Is that the one who written by Okada?
No, that's Iron Blooded Orphans.
All
There's no
right.
way that would be on this list. Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin was an OVA.
All right.
It did air on television at eventually, but it was an OVA to start. Same way that like Yamato 2199 was in theaters first and then
Oh,
aired on TV.
so it's like a remake of the
No,
original show.
it's not. It's an origin story that takes place before the original show. So I've seen the original Gundam
Yep.
from 1979, and I watched that so that I could get into other Gundam stuff. And I watched this, and it was like the ways in which it was modernized were so tasteful.
Mhm.
It
Wow.
it
Good to
didn't
hear.
it didn't like overhaul the story at all. It was very geared toward getting the characters, like introducing them when they were still slightly more impressionable, let's say, or like their slates were a little bit more blank, and then
Mhm.
it delivered at a very even pace the events of their lives that led them up to the point of the original series.
Yep.
So not only did it look fantastic because it's got Gundam money
Mhm.
that they could burn on like movie quality animation and background
Mhm.
art, but it also structured itself and paced itself really nicely, I thought.
Right. So for the newcomer like me who have never experienced Gundam, is it alright if I try the original? The
By
origin?
original, do you
Sorry.
mean the origin? Oh yeah. I mean, part of its value is that it functions as an origin story to a series that you've already seen.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean,
Got that.
there's nothing stopping you from watching the origin first. You could do it,
Mhm. Yep.
um, but you'd be missing a little bit, you
Yep.
know.
Yep. I get what you mean. All right. Um.
Oh yeah, and then
So.
Wandering Sun was I bumped it onto my list because mostly for the visuals, honestly. I still have the same
Mhm.
problems with the story that I did before.
Yeah. All right.
Uh, yeah, it's the stakes are just not high enough. It repeats itself.
Mhm.
The kids are all like way too wise for their age.
Yep.
But the visuals, like the harmony between the character art and the background art, you don't get
Mhm.
that a lot in anime. Like the way they both have that watercolor quality to them. The compositing is really good.
Mhm.
Um, and then K-On! I honestly expected to list that a lot higher than I did.
Yep.
But it's the fact that it covered only 1 year of school with
Mhm.
2 seasons, like 2 cores, was a
Yeah.
lot
That's
different from the way that the first season covered 2 years with 1 core. So I feel like there was a lot of extraneous um, stuff going on. I thought there was some, the series is really well made, so that's
Yep.
probably the main reason why it's on the list. And also, it does manage to have like a rather emotional finish and a great send off for the characters at the very end. Um, but
I
definitely
do
not as
I
not what I was hoping for.
Yep, I do remember like the graduations is in like episode 17 or 18. That lived like the the last 5 or 6 episodes of them basically doing nothing. Enjoy, absolutely
Uh,
nothing.
let me see here because I took notes on all this stuff.
All right.
Let's see. Graduation. Graduation
It's good.
picture day.
It's good that you take note on like everything that you watch.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where is graduation?
I think look up 1718. I think. Let's see.
No. There's a play. There's like that's a school festival. Those are school festival type episodes.
All right. Sorry, I was wrong. The graduation ceremony is on the episode 24. All right.
Is it?
Wow, 24. All right.
I see 21 here is graduation picture day.
Yep.
Okay, but I mean, I do know what you're talking about. I know that feel, because they don't have to, like, they get out of classes. I think.
Yep.
They don't have to continue attending class after a certain point. The graduation ceremony isn't for a while, but there's a stretch of episodes where they're just hanging out in the club room a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They come to school even though they don't have to attend class, so they can see Azusa and hang out with each other and eat cake and stuff.
And they don't even need to play any more music because the school festival's already gone. Yeah, because I don't remember they playing any music afterwards.
Let's see here. Yeah, I guess you're right. Although one of the most memorable musical moments in the series is the farewell song they played for Azusa.
Yeah.
Which is, and the really cool thing about it is the movie, the K-On! Movie, like details the creation of that song, like the inspiration behind it.
All right. When they are in London.
Yeah. And it's really an emotional moment when they play that song for her. The lyrics are great, man. They are. They're awesome.
All right. Yep. All right. So
anyway, those are my thingies.
Yep. So the 3 shows that you advised me to watch from your list are Hunter x Hunter that we already been covered, Rilakuma to Karusan, and Hyuge Mono.
Yeah.
For Rilakuma to Karusan, that is a really comfy show. It's put like comfy into another whole level.
I know, dude.
I watched the first 3 episodes. I enjoy it so far. I think like the aesthetic that it is the stop motion show instead of like traditional hand drawn anime that make everything look so refreshing.
Yeah.
Well, the bear, the stuffed
Which
bear,
one?
and both of them are cute. Like the way that they crying.
I know. I love the
little
scenes where they're
teary eyes.
crying.
So yeah, this is comfy show, and it have like an edge of an adult touch as well. Especially into the Karusan, the main characters, that remind me a bit of another Netflix show, Aggressive Resuko.
Yeah, honestly, I love Rilakuma, the way that Rilakuma handles her adult life way more than I do Agretsuko. Like
I still
Agretsuko,
prefer. Yeah, go on.
Agretsuko like pushes the comedy, like the horrors of growing up and having an office job and being assaulted with like marriage proposals and stuff. Like it's all too much. It's so crazy. Whereas Rilakuma, like she's kind of living her life, and she gets into a pickle a little bit. She buys too much exercise equipment so she can see the. Oh, I shouldn't spoil anything. But she gets into a jam sometimes at work or in her personal life. But things just things come and go, in your life, and that's the attitude that Rilakuma has towards the pitfalls of adulthood or the trials of growing up or getting older. Like you just have to do your best, live each day, try to put a smile on your face, and you'll make it through. It has a much more realistic and I think identifiable like uh,
Yep.
perspective
All,
on living an adult life.
all right. You're talking about realistic, and say actually living with the two stuffed bear animals.
I'm talking about like the show's attitude, or
Yep.
the its perspective, or its
Uh,
just its philosophy, I guess I would say.
yep. Um, and it's have like even like it's really comfy. It's cute as well. It actually gives you the warm feeling as well. Like in each episode, we do have like many warm moments
Hell
of
yeah.
of the cast. So yeah, this is actually a pretty surprisingly good show. I still prefer aggressive Mexico than Ryakuma to Karusan right now. But I will see like after I watching the whole thing how my opinion will change.
Excuse me. All right. I guess I'll do one.
Yep.
Um, so I rewatched The Eccentric Family season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and it was okay.
Okay.
The
All right.
the main problem that I have with it is that the show has a dramatic structure,
Mm-hmm.
but it does not have dramatic stakes or dramatic emotion to it.
All right.
That's my major problem. Like there's the whole plot with the Friday Fellows and how
Yep.
they're gonna eat a tanuki at the end of the year, and they were the ones who ate um, the the Shimogamo family head.
Yep.
What was his name? Their
The
names all start with Y. It's annoying.
yeah. Yasakuro something. Well, all
I
right.
don't know.
The
The
oldest
father.
brother,
Yeah, like
the father. Yeah. Yeah.
they Ben 10 and the other Friday Fellows, they ate the head of Tanuki society in Kyoto.
Yep. Mm,
Um and yet like this should be like a massive event. Like most likely a scarring event for at least some of the family members here. Some of his wife or at least some of his sons, his 4 sons. I mean, the youngest one was probably too young when it happened.
yep.
Um, but like it doesn't generate any like major emotion, any dramatic tension. Um, everybody's just they freak out about potentially getting eaten, and there's this scene where the oldest brother is like questioning the frog in the well about his role in the events that like the night that their father was captured. They went out
Mm-hmm.
and got drunk, and there's that scene like the lightning flashes, and he like
Mm-hmm.
wails out in grief, over the well because his brother got drunk with their father that night. That's the
Yep.
only time that you really get a sense that like the father is terribly like desperately missed. Apart from that,
Yep. Hmm. All right.
it's not there. Like the characters are all interesting, the art style is cool, the
All
animation's
right.
pretty good, and the comedy is good, but it's structured like a dramatic series, and there's
All
no
right. All
drama.
right. All right. I beg to differ on that because I feel the loss of the father within the first 2 episodes. I think that's on the second episode. I think when we learn that the father had been eaten away, and left them with with each other to take care of. I feel that the way that you don't feel any more like dramatic tension, like um how 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 the loss of the father affect them, is because it's taking a while already. It's like Sangatsu no Lion, where this mother of the 3 sisters have been passed away. So they this already like the time where they already move on, carry a new life,
You're comparing
but
this
they
to
still,
Sangatsu?
yeah, about the loss of the father, yes. And
San the the
alright.
the departure of parents
Mhm,
in Sangatsu is like it crushes the characters who are left behind.
mhm.
Ray is Ray is like so depressed that he feels like he's drowning and he can't get out of bed some days.
Yep.
The like Akari, the oldest daughter of the three sisters, she feels the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Yep.
There's no
Well,
comparison at all.
all right,
Everyone in
because
the eccentric family is like, let's just live an interesting and fun life.
it's
It's
more
our
like
idiot
they.
blood.
All right, all right. I think their philosophy is in the eccentric family is that they only have each other to rely on now, and that I
Yeah.
actually feel like the loss they have, the like each of the sons um try to grieve in their own way, and some of them are even lost, like the frog. His character, he lost even, like in the start of the series, that he just wanted to be a frog, and doesn't want to deal with any other thing in his life.
Yeah.
So I actually feel that for the eccentric family, I just love a lot. I love the characters. I love the conversation. I think it's one of the racial whose the exchange, the romantic conversations are really smart. Um, I love the world building. The world building is one of my favorite settings ever in anime.
Eh.
All
I mean
right,
the
but
setting is cool. It's
yep,
the show is certainly clever. It's
yep.
funny,
It
but
just doesn't hold up to you
no,
emotionally.
no. Like
Yep.
yeah, there's hardly any emotion at all, I feel.
Mm.
I mean, I remember you saying within the first two episodes you learn about the father,
Yep.
his the way that he passed away, and you get the sense that it's weighing on his family. And I think that's
Yep.
true because episode 2 I thought was incredible.
Yep.
It like detailed all the relationships between the Shimogamo family members, and at the
Yep.
very end, like they're all together in their home at that shrine.
Yep.
And
I
Yasaburo, the
think.
main character, he's like he delivers like a soliloquy on the greatness of their father, um,
Yep.
and also like the equal importance of their mother and how both of
Yep.
them have kept the family strong. And I
Yep.
thought that was a really lovely way to end that episode.
Hmm.
Um, but
But then
the
afterwards,
like for example, this is here's an example of the way that the drama like kind of like escapes the show, I guess, or doesn't even show up to begin with. In
mm,
episode in episode 12, which is
yep.
the one with when the frog transforms into the train car and they bust into the Friday Fellows meeting
Hmm.
in order to disrupt it so their mom doesn't get eaten because she's been captured. Um, they crash in there, and then everybody transforms back into their normal selves. And
Hmm.
so they're in the room with the Friday Fellows. They're in like the next room over because they've just busted through the wall here. And
Yep.
so what should they do in that situation? They should be afraid
They.
for their lives. They should get out
They.
of there.
Yep.
They should get their mom out of there, and they should go support their older brother. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the older brother who's been kidnapped. He's the one who's about
Yep.
to get eaten.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they should all get out of there, go rescue their mom, who's still caged up because the head of the other family, like their cousins, has her trapped. So they should be rescuing her, and they should be going to support their brother at this meeting to see who's going to be the next head of the Tanukis. But what do they do instead? They sit around and they talk for like 5 minutes in that room, just having like a clever conversation. It makes no sense at all. Like, they should be afraid for their lives because they're right next to the people who have been scheming to eat a tanuki for months and months. Like, it's the entire point of their secret society. But instead, they're just chilling. There's no
Yep.
drama to that scene at all. It's just
All
like, oh
right.
man, wasn't it amazing that we crashed in through the wall? And
Yeah, you're
that,
talking about Yasuhiro. I think that's the main character's name, and he chill as hell. He's always chill.
yeah, he is. But
Yep.
he talks to his brother. What's his face? I can't remember the oldest brother's name. Why do they all
Yep.
have names that start with Y?
Yeah, that's supposed to be Yasuchiro and Yash. Oh my god. All right, I know what you mean. The oldest brother, right?
Anyway, I don't know. And do you remember all the conversations between the professor guy and
Yep.
Yasaburo about like to eat is to love?
Yeah. I think that's like one of the weak point in the first in the whole franchise. To eat is to love, and then he actually changed the whole ideas, the whole perspective and stuff.
It just seemed to me like the show justifying the idea that, oh, it's okay, like, the Friday Fellows ate our dad, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's the lie. It's the way it is.
Yeah, but that's not how people process events in their lives. They don't take like a grand macro, zoom out and take scope of everything.
Yeah,
If their
yeah.
father or someone they
Alright.
love gets eaten, they're gonna be terribly sad or angry or afraid for themselves. Something.
Yep.
I don't
Right.
know.
I actually see your point now. Yep. Um, but let's move on.
Okay.
The next the other show that you recommend me and I watched it the first 4 episodes was Hyoge Mono, and that show was a delight. It's
Oh,
more
really?
like yeah it's more like it's so weird. It's not like something that you normally watch in anime.
Yeah.
I actually feel a bit struggle with the way they speak. Consider that they're using all the old words and stuff, and sometimes I don't even, because my knowledge of the of that era of Japanese is really limited, so I don't know of all the references that they try to make. But it's the I really like the perspective of it, like the way it focus on the way the show focus on is something really fresh. So this one have a leg that might go into my top 50 if I watch the entire thing.
Ah. Well, I mean, regardless of whether it does or doesn't, I would recommend that you finish it someday.
Yep.
Check it out because it's there's nothing else quite like it, honestly.
It's really refreshing, you know.
Yeah, it definitely stands out, and the way that it develops its plot is quite unique. Because it just takes its sweet time. Sometimes there'll be an entire episode about like some pot or something, some tea bowl, and like this war that's being waged over it between two feudal lords who, because they, how the show, I don't know if you've only seen 4 episodes, but the show talks about like masterpieces.
Yep. They do.
Yeah,
They do. They talk about that all the time.
it's really interesting the way that those like factor into the main plot, because people will battle over those, like so that they can claim that they own it. But at the same time, the show will also step away from the combat or from the politics of its story, and just spend time commenting on like the art of, or the appreciation of those sorts of creations.
That's right.
There'll be like
That's right.
tea room scenes between two characters where they're both just sitting and drinking tea and like kind of getting philosophical about like the
Hmm.
imperfections in the bowl and like the wabi sabi uh style of it. It's really it's hard. It like defies categorization, I feel.
Yeah, and it's the focus of that, for focus on the aesthetic of, of the part of the things, the perfection of them all, and how they intervene that into, like his relationship to his lord, the famous Oda, the famous,
Nobunaga.
yeah, Nobunaga. Um, it's really refreshing, like it yeah, I just really love this perspective of that.
Yeah, it's definitely
Wow.
the best depiction of Nobunaga in anime.
Yeah. Well,
At
good
least that
list.
that I know of. Like pre 2000 stuff might be another one that's better, like more accurate, more dramatic, whatever. But
Yep.
this is the best
Hmm.
one that I've seen out of I don't know, probably a dozen.
Yep. So yeah, I'm glad I'm watching this show. I think I will have like trouble, getting through that, because like all the language that they use are really difficult to understand at times.
Well, when you say language, you mean the Japanese language or the subtitles?
The
Ah,
subtitles. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I definitely remember the subtitles for the
The
show being like really really good for the first uh like half or slightly less than
yeah.
half. But then it
All right.
changed subgroups around the
Yep.
halfway point, and I think it became a little bit more readable, a little less
Oh.
less of a linguistic flourish to it.
Yep.
So I really liked the
The
difficult and
old one.
the kind of antiquated language that they use
Yep. Yep.
um, during the first part because I think it fits the time period.
Yeah, yeah. It fit the time period. I mean, like the language they use. It's not. It's alright. It's still alright to understand, but it's more like the subject that they were talking about was something unfamiliar to me.
Yeah,
So like it take time for me to get, like used to of what they talking about.
right. Yeah,
But
it's
but
definitely way different from most other anime, which often share like common points of interest. This one
yeah,
doesn't.
and the main guy expression whenever he see like the masterpiece is just so priceless. Oh my god,
Yeah.
nice! It's a really nice show.
Yeah, that's the reason to watch, man, right there. To see
Yep.
what kind of face he's gonna
Um.
make next.
Yep. How about you? The other two shows that you watch for my list.
Yeah. I'll just do Wandering Sun really fast. I already
Yep.
mentioned that I put it back on my
All right.
list.
Mm-hmm.
I think the show is really great visually.
Mm-hmm.
The character animations actually it really surprised me how good it was when I was rewatching it. Like
Yep.
the characters aren't just moving on a horizontal plane, from one side of the screen to the other, walking in a line from the waist up. Like
Mm-hmm.
like most anime will do. You are gonna get different like shots of all different perspectives in this
Mm-hmm.
series. So it makes rooms that they're occupying, like spaces that they live in, feel more real. Um, the way that the characters blend in with the background art is fantastic. I can't think of many shows that have done it better in this decade. Um, the issues that it tackles of transgenderism, is that a word?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right. I understand what you
I
mean.
think that's how you say it, like transgenderism
Yep.
or whatever. The show's pretty brave, I would say, in order to go where it
Yep.
does. But at the same time, I would have liked for them to either go further with that or to stay where they were, but make the kids a little less adult. These are middle schoolers. We're not even in high school here,
They are
and
really complex for their age.
yeah, in my opinion, to the show's detriment. Um,
Yep.
like Chiba, the girl who is like really kind of standoffish and cold.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, she is way too like at one point she doesn't want to go to school for whatever reason. I can't remember why exactly she decides that she doesn't want to go to school. But her mom's like, okay, so what are you going to do if you don't go back to school? And she says, well, I'll just become someone's mistress. What 13-year-old girl is going to say that?
Yeah.
And it's
All
not
right.
as though she's had this terrible upbringing where she might like be considering that as an option, or at least have been around that in order to make that joke. Her mother is like a very patient and caring person. She's demonstrated to be that way. So I don't get what, like, I don't know. I just think the characterization, while it wasn't bad,
Yep.
was just not suited perhaps to the ages of the characters.
All right.
So that
Yep.
stops it from being like really really great to me.
All right. I gonna mention briefly about One Direction. What I feel about One Direction as well. I feel the main topic that they trying to convey is like you said, the transgenderism is really complex. Like the way that like the two main characters growing up doesn't feel that the body and the gender they belong to and all that. So that's really good. The characters um, chemistry to each other are also layer and very complex as well. I understand why you mean that w- you wanted the show to be more more um, dramatic and stuff. It I think it's by design because the manga. Well, all right, the adaptation from the manga it actually cut in the middle. So this is the
Right.
middle part of the manga. So that's why you feel like no beginning and no end. But that actually fit into like how growing up should be. So
Well, I didn't even say no beginning and no end at any point
well yeah
today.
yeah yeah
You
yeah
said
no,
that.
no. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, well, but I think that's part of growing up as well. Like just keep on moving, living in the present. So I like the idea. I actually like this is a really great idea from Mari Okada, who actually doing the script for this.
Yeah.
Um, I love the characters, and I feel like the moment like the guy, the main dude, uh,
Shuichi.
trying to look into his name, Shuichi, decided to cross grade to school is like one of the more powerful moments that I see in the last few years. So this
I
show speak to me a lot,
I thought
even
that the
though
episode
yep
after he he
yeah
I don't know if it's appropriate to say cross-dressed, Like in 2019, I don't
um,
know what's okay to say anymore. Uh but
yeah
yeah, when he dresses as a woman or as a girl
mhm,
to school,
yep
I thought the episode that came after that was the more interesting one
like how
because
people thought about that, right?
yeah, like it detailed the fallout. Um,
Mhm.
and there was a scene between he and his father at the beginning of that,
Yep.
which was very touching, I thought, where his dad talked about the way that they were sure that Anna was going to be a boy and he was going to be a girl, and the expectations that they had for their kids, and the bet that their grandparents put on what the gender of the child was going to be, and he
Mhm.
says to Shuichi, maybe we just got you two mixed up. Like it was a
Mhm.
way for him to like
Cope with that.
tacitly, yeah, well, not even cope, like to tacitly give his approval almost, to
Yep.
like
Mm.
to say without saying it directly, to say like it's okay,
Mhm.
because he said maybe we got you mixed up. Like he's taking, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, on the other hand, he could be thinking of this as a negative thing and placing the blame on himself. I don't know. I just thought
Mm.
that scene
That
was really interesting.
Yep, that's what the parents of the Asian culture usually think. When it is wrong to their child, when there is wrong something wrong to their child, they will ultimately blame themselves first.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of parents actually. I do know what you mean. Like that's really prevalent in Asian cultures.
Yep.
because there's a lot of pressure that parents put on their children, and they may think that if the kid doesn't live up to it, like they didn't put enough pressure or they did something wrong. But I think a lot of parents feel that way.
Yep.
Like even
They-
even in America, because you do raise your kid, from nothing.
Yep. That's right.
So and you all that time, all those small interactions and experiences, and I'm sure that parents they look back on that and they see like certain days they wish they'd done something different, or
Yep.
it's gotta be hard, man.
Yep. For me, that moment is powerful. Is basically what comes before that. So like how he think, and then he actually decided to do that. So that what is powerful for me.
I don't know, because it was all mixed up with Doi. You remember Doi?
The girl who dressed up like a boy, right? The other
No,
girl.
no. Doi
not the
is
main one.
the bully. The guy who used
The
to bully.
glasses.
No, he's not
Oh,
one
right,
of the main
right.
7 characters. The
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
who
yeah,
used
yeah.
to bully Shuichi in elementary school.
Yeah, I remember him now. Yep.
He like kind of coaxes Shuichi into
Yep.
cross dressing.
Yep.
And like it was their relationship isn't totally explained, which I actually liked because it started in middle school in this version rather than elementary school like
Yep.
the manga.
Mhm.
But I don't know, his decision felt like very spur of the moment because we don't know that much about Doi, who is like, you should dress up this way at school.
Yep.
I think
I
that kind of
think
took away
because-
from his decision to do that.
Yeah. I don't think it's much of the manipulation. I think it's more like he actually bought to that idea. But yeah, well,
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Doi is kind of a closed book, and he's not solved by the end of the series. He's another hanging
Yep.
thread, of which there are
Yep.
many.
mm,
So
all right. Yep. But let's move on to the last show. that
right, yeah, real
on my
fast. I
list
mean,
that you watched.
I've rewatched a lot, like more than just 3 from your list.
Glad to hear that.
But I guess the one that I will go with is Concrete Revolution.
All right.
I
Yep.
watched the first season,
Mm,
and this is going to be brief.
Yep.
I thought that the show was chock full of interesting ideas,
mm,
but there are 2 main strikes against it. One, it's incomprehensible.
Yep.
What the hell is going on?
Yep.
That's number
Yep.
1. Number 2, I actually feel like the show's exploration of like what's right and what's wrong, what's just and what's unjust, is not that nuanced. I feel like it's just a lot of characters using the word justice
Yep.
in every episode in a lot of different circumstances without a
Mm.
real exploration of what it means. And the reason they can't give a thorough they can't really dig into it is because they don't have a story into which that concept can be threaded.
Mhm.
Like the story's not there. Like a stable foundation, a stable narrative foundation for you to put your themes, like to work your themes into, is not
Mm.
present in that first season.
Yep.
So not even close to a top 50 for me.
Yep.
However, I do plan to watch the second season because
Mm.
even though I didn't like the first season very much, it did intrigue me. So I
Yep.
will probably finish the series.
Yep. Understand what you mean completely. I think because the first season actually it's like Memento if you watch that movies.
Yeah,
So
everything's
it-
backwards.
Yeah, so so they start with like moving forward and backwards. So like the first scene is and the final. So like it trying to wrap up like simultaneously between like between the 2 time frame basically, and that's why it's so incomprehensible.
Yeah.
It just the pacing is just wrong, especially for the first 2 episodes. But yeah, for me it's getting better and better, and for me like the notion of justice is actually pretty they addressed it really thought provokingly, in the second season, because like everyone hold their own version of justice and they just not matching each other, so that's why there's a whole conflict going on.
Yeah.
I like
Well, I
that
mean,
idea.
yeah. I hope that it's better in the second season because honestly, I felt that the word justice felt it was just like a buzzword in the
Yep.
first season. Like everybody's
It
saying it, but
it
nobody's
it's
you.
heavy-handed for sure, but well,
I mean, it's not even heavy-handed in the way that Psychopass is, where Psychopass is very clear about what it's saying because it slows down and has a bunch
mm,
of characters monologue and philosophize, if that's even a
yep,
word.
yep,
Um, Whereas Concrete Revolutio, it doesn't slow down and let the characters monologue or do whatever because it's always moving in like 10 directions at once.
yep.
So when a
I agree
character
on
says
that.
justice, you don't have time to slow down and listen to what they're saying because your head is like literally spinning on your neck.
Yep, understand what you mean.
But we'll
Uh,
see what the second season is like, I guess.
that's right. All right. So let's see
I
what
also I also
next.
rewatched Nichijou and
Right.
I think something
Monogatari.
else that was on your list. Yes, I did. Oh shit. Okay, well I
All
guess
right.
I'll just save that for next time.
Can I just hear your brief of opinion about Monogatari?
Okay.
I'm curious.
I watched the first half of second season. Where did I put my notes? Hold on, let me do Control F here. Monogatari. Where is it?
All right. By the first half, how many acts have you watched?
3 arcs because there's 6 in the second season.
All right.
So
So,
I saw 3. I saw the one with the tiger.
yep.
Um,
There's
and I was like I
mm,
didn't feel that at all. I was like,
yep.
whatever.
Uh, yep.
That I think that was 5 episodes, and I didn't understand why. Like I didn't understand Hanekawa enough. Like what was upsetting her enough to create this tiger. Like because it was a representation of her emotional state.
Yeah. Right. That was in the previous one where
Right.
you skip. So yeah.
Right.
Uh,
But I mean, I'm sure that I missed out on some crucial information, but like,
yep.
I don't know. Even if I watched it, I don't know if I would have been convinced that.
Right.
I mean, I know something's going on with her parents. Like her real parents are missing or dead, and she's
Yep.
living with a man who forces her to like sleep in the hallway, and he's probably been
Yep.
neglectful or abusive towards her.
Yep.
Um, and then what was the second one? The
Uh,
second one was the one with
this
the time
name.
travel. It was like Mayoi, and they
Yep.
travel through time. He and Shinobu travel through time.
Maya Shinji, I think. That's the cat rules in Japan. The jumping
Uh,
ghost, I think.
okay.
The
Well,
hopping ghost. Sorry. All right. Go on.
I didn't really like that one either. Um,
Right.
I mean, it was a Mayoi arc, but it was way more about Shinobu.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
and when they time travel to like in the later episodes, you see the adult version of Mayoi.
Yep.
And that's probably supposed to be like a bombshell moment. Because you're meeting an alternate version of a character
Yep.
who has always been portrayed as young. So there's supposed to be like a big disconnect there, and it's supposed to be probably like a really revelatory experience, seeing who
Yep.
this character will turn out to be. But I just had
But
no interest.
all right.
I was like, whatever. And
I
then I
see.
watched the third one, which I thought was actually really cool.
Nadico snake.
Um,
Nadico Medusa. Right.
yeah, that's the one. Like she's super powerful in her Medusa form.
Right.
And her Medusa form manifests because I don't know. There were a bunch of phone calls, weren't there, in that arc? Like she would call Araragi on the phone, and she was in love with him, but she couldn't say it. So is that why she had all those snakes in her hair?
Or maybe she's just imagining things. I don't remember that much anymore. But I actually feel that it is one of the more powerful arc in the second season. So do you like it or
Um,
not?
No, not at all.
Oh God! All
um,
right.
I did think that the last episode of that arc, the Nautico Snake or whatever it was called, I thought it was really interesting because it was like the apocalypse. It was like the confrontation between Shi and Araragi and Shinobu, and like how
Yep.
powerful they all were.
Yep.
Like the the world was hanging in the balance during that
Yep.
conflict.
Mm.
But then there's no conclusion. It doesn't conclude. You probably have
Yep.
to watch a different series, like an entirely different season of Monogatari in order to get the rest
Nah,
of it.
it get to the end of the second season in order to resolve the conflict. So
Oh, okay.
in Saint Johara arc,
Oh, with Kaiki?
which is spoiler alerts, not entirely her arc.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already watched the Mayoi arc, which was not really about Mayoi.
Yep.
It's about Shinobu.
So the Shinobu arc is actually about her, about Mayoi. So they
Oh,
mix
okay.
up a bit.
Right. I'm sure that's intentional.
Yep, that
It's all just
intentional.
Nisio playing with the audience.
Yep.
Um,
Um,
but like,
do,
I don't
do you
know.
act-
Go ahead.
do
Go
you
ahead.
actually see the preview of the big battle between her and the rest of the cast?
Yeah, I actually saw some combat
Yep.
in that preview. Yes.
Right.
And it was really cool looking. I was like, "Damn, this is this is tight. I want this to be the show."
Uh,
Um,
yep.
but like all the all the girls have the different forms that manifest because
Yep.
of some emotional problem or
Yep.
like something like that. But so much of it, the reasons for it are not entirely clear within the arcs themselves, and sometimes it has to do with like Araragi,
Mhm.
and I don't really feel as though he's that interesting. Like he's just the main dude who is there to help solve all these problems,
Yep.
and yet even though he's kind of like the side player in that things don't revolve around him, they revolve around the girls, and he just comes in to fix things. A lot of their problems end up revolving around him,
Right.
which I think is backwards.
Mm.
I don't know. I also, for my notes for episode 7, I wrote, "Dude, Lolicons, LMAO."
Yep.
So there was a
We had
lot of perverted stuff going on in that one, I guess, and I'm not a fan
Yep.
of that.
Yep. All right. Now that your thought about Monogatari is clear, we go into the rank battle. So free from
Yeah.
discussion, but we comment on the rank list of the others we submitted. All right. Yeah, my first thought is that you rank the eccentric family too low, which is not ranking them at all. But you already explained me on that.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many good things that the eccentric family has going for it. Um, its cleverness, its visuals, its characters, its depiction of Kyoto. But the lack of drama wouldn't even bother me if it didn't present itself so dramatically in spots.
Yep. All right.
But I already talked enough about that.
Yep.
So yeah, no
Um,
eccentric family. I see you have it ranked here as at 14th.
Yep. Yep.
So
it's
pretty high.
it's one of my favorite shows. Yep.
I do like the second
I
season more than the first.
Yep. I also kind of surprised that you put on your same ranking 14 Ginga Ekidov, which is
Yes.
really high on the list.
It is, yeah.
Tell me more about that because I think I'm gonna watch that show.
Well, you can
Nah.
can try it. I
Yeah.
do think the first episode of Gengai Kickoff is pretty good. So you
Alright.
should be able to tell just based on one episode whether it's for you or not. It's a kid show. It's a sports show. The thing that I really like about it is that it depicts the children as kids. Like they're big soccer fans, and
Yeah.
the way that they learn more about the game and improve um,
Yep.
like athletically, is is not only like believable, but it
Mm.
also makes you feel really good as you're watching. Like
So
if these
not
were
like One Direction,
what?
not like One Directions,
Oh,
where they don't act like kids.
yeah, yeah. I mean, these are
Uh,
even younger kids. This is like elementary school age, I think, if I remember
yeah,
correctly. It might be first year of middle school.
yeah.
Um, but they like these the I felt when I was watching it, I felt proud of the
Mm.
kids for accomplishing the things that they managed to accomplish. I mean, in particular, there's one girl who I think her name is Reina, and
Mm.
she begins the show. She's fat, and
Yep.
she joins the team in order to exercise. And some of the other members of the team, like there are triplets, three characters
Mm.
who are all twins, and they're like really really amazing soccer players. And in the early stages, they're the reason for the team's success. Um, so watching the other kids try like catch up to their level is also extremely gratifying. But Reina, they like they mock her and taunt her,
Mm.
even though she's on the same team as they are, and she will get like really hurt by that. But she manages to befriend one girl on the team who just encourages her and says, you know, you're not the best right now, but if you work hard, I know you can do it. I believe in you. And she slowly starts to lose weight and improve at the game, and she becomes like their star defender. It's just like
Mm.
it's 39 episodes, and the way that it plays out over time
Yep.
just makes you feel so like it makes you feel good to watch it.
Wow.
Um, and there's also the other part of the story is that their coach, who was a
Mm.
former professional soccer player, but I can't even remember what happened to him. He got injured or something,
Mm.
and he had to quit. He rediscovers his passion for the game by teaching these
The
kids, and it's I think his journey that he goes through is one of the more meaningful adult developments in a children's anime that I've ever seen.
Mm.
So I just think that the show is great.
Right. Well, glad to hear that. I also realized that, like on your top 6 of the anime of the decade, there are 4 of them from 2014.
Oh, is that right?
Is
Ping
there
Pong, Dandy, Mushishi.
even the first 3 actually are from
Yeah, they're all from
2014?
2014. Yes. Yes.
Is that
2014
by?
is my 2014 is my favorite year for anime ever.
Yep. All right. Is there a bias or not?
I had Space Dandy at 5th before I wrote this list down, and I had Mushishi. You know, everything else was shifted up.
Yep.
But in thinking back on my time watching Space Dandy and rewatching it, I can
Yep.
recall many of its episodes to mind so clearly that I couldn't keep it all the way down at 5th. Like the show is so memorable, and so creative, and so like gorgeous.
Mhm.
I mean, I thought about replacing Ping Pong with Space Dandy, but
Wow.
I
Wow.
love Ping Pong, so I couldn't do that.
Even going that far, hey.
Yeah, I rewatched
Wow.
Mushishi, and
Yep.
it definitely lost out on the second spot for me. I mean, I could see Mushishi dipping as low as number 5, to be honest.
Wow. All right.
It had Mushishi. It has like incredible, like life changing episodes,
Mm.
but it has a couple clunkers, to be honest.
Yep. Mm.
Space Dandy does too, though.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
you
Wow.
know, I'd say they're roughly the same.
Yeah, that's usually the case for like the episodic shows. There will be some that are better than the others.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask you about looking at your list. You know,
Yep.
Monogatari series coming in first. I know you're a
Yep.
huge fan of that. I want to ask you about Sangatsu no Lion coming in at number 5, because you said before we started recording that
Yeah.
it recently like improved in your estimation. So what exactly caused that jump?
All right. I think the emotional core in Sangatsu no Lion is really powerful. That it stayed there with me. Um, After like after a year, I think this is one of the show where the more you think about it, the more it's improved on you. And I just recently watched the Bulliac again. Really love it.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think originally it's like in number 8 or 9 on my list, and but I pump it up this time at number five,
So it was
and I
always
have
top
no.
10.
It's on my top 10. I have no regret putting that on the top 5.
Okay, nice. Interesting. I was kind of surprised to see that there, and like Flip Flappers and Humanity Has Declined so low, relatively
So,
speaking, because I know
all
you
right.
love both
So
of those shows.
yep. So by low you mean 7 and 8. So it's not that much of a difference. Yeah. Like it was before. It was behind both Flip Flapper and Humanity Has Declined.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Sangatsu is definitely strong. Um, I feel as though the second half of the first season, so like the second quarter of the show, if you take its 4 cores, I think the second one is a little weak.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
just going entirely off my memory.
Mm.
Um, I think it goes into the shogi world a little bit more,
Yep.
and it leaves behind some of the stronger emotion that it displays in the first half, where you really get a portrait of how broken Ray is on his worst days.
All right. It's
Um,
more about Shinoda, right? Is that on the second half of the first season?
is it?
Shinoda, right?
Is that the guy's name? I mean, I know who you're talking about. The guy with stomach ulcers and he's losing his
Yeah.
hair.
I think his name is Shinoda.
Yeah, I thought a lot of the stuff having to do with him was actually was pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
Still, my memory of some of the second half of the first season is not maybe the stuff that comes a little bit before his arc near the end.
Yep.
Um, I just felt as though there were some not too great episodes in there, and I don't know
Yep.
that I want to rewatch it because I'm trying to rewatch so much other stuff, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I
but
understand.
yeah.
Ping Pong the animation is the one that I wanted everyone as well
Oh my God, Ping Pong is
because
so good, dude.
always have like a very fun feeling of Ping Pong. Always think that this show have like basically everything: the good plot, the good characters, impressive animation, the good direction, everything. Uh, some of the moment from the show that I don't remember much though, so I want to have a rewatch.
Yeah, I would love to
Another
rewatch. In fact, I'm going to rewatch it. That's probably going to be the
yeah,
very last show I rewatch
yep.
to see at the
Another
end of it
show
all.
that
You know, can it hang on to the number one spot?
That's right. Another show that I'm currently rewatching is Psychopaths.
Oh, you
Uh,
started?
yeah, yep. So I'm in like episode 5 or 6 at the moment. Really enjoy that. That's like all before all these uh the main plot kick in the one that I always not fun of. So it's just the start. Let's see how if it hold up this time.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I have Psychopaths on my list at 32 for the
Yep.
first season only. If season 3 is good, that might impact I might take
Yep.
off the season 1 tag and bump it up, or keep it where it is and just remove the season 1 tag.
Yep.
Something like that. I don't know.
All
Yeah,
right.
well, I know you mentioned that you really like the standalone cases near the start of Psychopaths.
Yep. Yep.
You haven't met Makishima yet, have you?
I have met him like now it's like introduce him already.
As a teacher at the school, right?
Yeah. As the at first as the guy who manipulate one other guy who kill on these avatar who kill on the like of uh,
Oh yeah,
pop-
yeah, yeah. Yes.
popular,
The characters,
celebrity.
like online characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's right. That's right.
that's the start of him.
Right. But you haven't seen the scene yet where like Akane trains her gun on Makishima and his crime coefficient is like 0.
Yeah. I remember that scene. I think
Yeah.
it's like in episode 11 or something.
Is it really that far? I don't know.
I
But
remember it's
it's definitely not like in the first 5 or 6. It does come later
yep
than you
yep.
expect.
And actually,
That scene's
and
iconic, man.
yeah, I know. And Psychopath. Now this time I see, I think there's a lot of the world building is really good. There's like um a really flesh out. They it I just love the world building of Psychopaths right now. You know,
Yeah.
like
I go ahead.
even like when I watched the second episode of Psychopath, like when the main girl doing just her like daily stuff, taking a bath, talking to her computer system,
Right.
that tell you a lot about the world that new world.
So yeah, you're liking Psychopaths a little bit more this time, maybe. How do you feel about the like the lunch dates that she has with her friends sometimes?
Um,
Have you seen any of those?
yeah, I seen one of those. I remember like from watching the ages ago. I think it's just more like to show that how her relation towards other normal people, friends, peer. So it just add little to the plot. That's what my reception of it right now.
Okay. Gotcha. I was
One
curious.
Yeah, one of the show that I want to rewatch, and that's on your list as well, and that is the Great Passage, Funen wo Amu.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's a short one. I think it's 11 episodes because it was Noi Tamina.
Yep.
So pretty easy rewatch, I think.
All right. One thing I want to ask you, you also mentioned me that you watch a whole bunch uh of Ikuhara shows.
Oh, I haven't
So
seen Yurikuma yet.
all right. So you have seen Penguin Drum.
Yeah, I
How do you
rewatched
feel
Penguin
about Penguin
Drum.
Drum?
It stayed about on where I expected it to on my list. It didn't move around very much.
All right.
It has some great episodes. It has some really bad ones.
Is
It's
the ending
the
hold up at all?
yeah, I think it does.
Right.
But you're still left wondering, like, what does it mean at the end of it? You don't know for sure. I definitely
Yep.
did a lot of Googling and reading like people's speculation and like
Yep.
headcanon and interviews with Ikuhara. Oh, but he doesn't give much away in his interviews,
Because
Um,
because maybe he himself is no.
yeah, that's possible. But I definitely remember the finale just more. I think the number one word I would use to describe the finale
Yep.
is striking.
Hmm.
It definitely struck me when I watched it. Like I can still see
Yep.
some of the images playing through my head right now.
Hmm.
Like Shoma bursting into flames,
Yep.
which was Ringo's fate written in the diary. He takes it on himself. That I thought it's very. I can see it right now,
Right.
and him carrying Himari
Yep.
up to up the steps. What does it all mean? I don't really know. I mean I have my theories. The show definitely provides you enough information and enough context that you can try to work it out for yourself, which I think is good enough for a show like that one.
Yep.
But I have it
All right.
pretty it's at 34. I think before I rewatched it, it was around 37 or 38 on my list, so slight improvement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. You have
And
any
for you, it's
comment on my list?
Wandering Sun. I feel is very high.
Yeah. Well, I love it so.
Yeah. Well, of course, you're within your rights to love it. That's one thing. Like, if I'm looking at your list and I'm spotting stuff that I think is too high or too low, not that such a thing really exists.
All
Wandering
right.
Sun would be one thing that I think is quote unquote too high. I am surprised to see JoJo's all the way up at 15th for you. What is going on
Yep.
there?
It just I just love the ridiculousness of JoJo's.
Okay.
I love that show. It's one of the show that you can just pop up and watch like every moment. When you
Yeah.
get drunk, when you're hungry,
Yeah.
when you.
I guess so.
I hope that I gonna in the future I gonna watch like the uh, the next few seasons. Hopefully, it still hold up then.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people really think that the series comes into its own when it gets to part 3 and it introduces like stand battles and stuff. Personally, I think
Yeah.
that's when the series goes to hell.
All right.
But I'm definitely in the minority on that.
Yep.
So, I'm gonna correct your. I'm gonna change this right here. There we go.
Right.
So we got Made in Abyss, we got Space Dandy from the New World. Yeah, this is all looking pretty. Nishijo at 23. That's fine.
All right.
What else we got? Sound you. So you have Hibiki Euphonium around where I do. Honestly, I was expecting
Right.
that you would have Hibiki Euphonium a little higher.
Oh,
Why is it
that's
down at
right.
29? Is that like where you think it ought to be, or did you place it lower? What's up with that?
So I place it. I place slow lower this time. I think I original have that like in 22, 23. So not that far off. I just think that the show doesn't hold up to me much anymore. So like the first season was good. I on the minority think that the second season is as good as the first one, but like as a whole, um, I just feel like more show having more, more lasting impact on me.
Huh. Okay.
But
What I'm not getting from you, I guess, what exactly caused that? Like did your opinion of a particular character or plot point or
I just
So-
think the whole thing.
Okay.
So like the story itself doesn't leave much impact for me now than it does.
So
the
how
says-
how did the story impact you the first time that you saw it?
Well, I like the cast of the characters. I like how Kumiko in particular have improved, especially from the first season to the second season. From the first season I like all of these, like uh attention to little details. Really love that.
What you mean in term like visually or
visually, yes, visually.
yeah.
So like all the like the character movements that speak a lot to their like what they think at the time. Uh, the second season is more of more of heightened drama, but it's good in their own way. um, yeah. So basically, I still see many of the good qualities from Sao UFO, but it's just everything just less than what I filmed before.
Huh, okay.
But actually, it's a good pick from you that you know that I put Sao UFO like less than I put that like a few months ago.
Yeah,
far.
I just would have expected that to be higher. I also see After the Rain all the way down at 31, even though it was your favorite anime of 2018.
Yeah, 2018 is not a good year for anime.
Okay.
For me in anime.
I feel like After the Rain's getting robbed all the way down there. I mean, I also considered putting it outside the top 20. I don't think that it's like a great show.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. But
It's
I
good
mean, I
enough.
kind of put it in the top 20 because I felt like 2018 should have a representative
Mm.
somewhere in the top 20.
Yep.
I put Rilakuma above it because Rilakuma is my favorite of this year so far, and I wanted to
Wow.
represent that like 2019 is stronger for me. I feel
Right.
than the previous year, so I wanted the strongest series from 2019 to rank above the one from 2018. But I still feel like you're putting After the Rain really low.
Mm. Yep.
We got Kyoso Giga, we got Concrete Revolution
Yep.
up at 33, above Tsukigaki. What the fuck? Above
All right.
Tsukigaki,
Yep. All right.
damn. All right, well this second season it better be good. All right, I've made a lot of
Yeah.
comments on your list. Do you have any more comments on my list?
Uh,
We're gonna probably wrap it up within the next 10 minutes, I think.
Yep. Not that surprising. Like all other things, I actually surprised that you put Ginga Kid off and Rilakuma to Karusan high on the list. But apart from that, a bit surprised of Girls und Panzer as well. But apart from
I
that,
love
I
Girls in
think
Panzer.
oh yeah, and because I haven't even heard of Mobile Suit Gundam the origins before. I know they
Yeah.
have like a bunch of franchise. I didn't know anything about the origins, so I was a bit surprised by that.
I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna watch another Gundam Unicorn, and honestly, that might also get on this list because
All right,
it's also supposed to be
wow.
really, really good looking and really well told.
Yep,
So we'll see.
yep. All right, so yeah, basically no surprise much.
Okay. There's one show on my list that's ranked some like I'm surprised you haven't made a comment about it.
All right, let me see.
Like it's
Kobayashi-san?
placement, not that it's on the list, but it's placement on the list.
All right, let me see. Humanity has declined. I know that you wasn't a fan of that show.
Yeah, I mean, Humanity Has Declined wasn't on my list before the rewatch. I rewatched it and I decided to put it on
All right.
because I think it has some pretty smart episodes, even though it has a pair of episodes near the middle that I think are like some of the worst out of any episodes from any show on this list. But it also has some really good ones. So,
All right.
like between Humanity Has Declined and Eccentric Family, if I were to put
Yeah.
one of them on there, like to barely give a qualifying spot to one that you really love, it would for me
Yeah.
it would be Humanity Has Declined.
All right.
Even though Eccentric Family also has a few very good episodes in that first season, and I like the second season.
Yep. Yep. All right. No.
Okay,
which show is
it's Space Battleship Yamato 2199.
that? It's all right.
That used to be my top 10.
It used to be your top 10.
It used to be my top 10.
Alright.
I rewatched it and dropped it down to 26, and it could go lower.
All right. Huh. Interesting. Because, all right, where do I have that? I have that at 37. All right.
Yeah, like I could see
Alright.
it dropping down to 37 for me too. I was really disappointed when I rewatched it.
Yeah. So, all right, what is the chain of heart?
Just the like, dude, the characters are not there. The characters are not who I thought they were.
Well, they know. It's more like plot-driven show, not like character-driven show.
Yeah, but I thought that I remembered when I watched it the first time that there were a lot of scenes of the characters just like hanging out in the mess hall, you know, the cafeteria, or
Yeah.
like the hallways of the ship, kind of where they could look out at the stars and stuff. I thought there was a lot more of that in my memory than there actually is.
Alright. Or maybe it's 2002 that you remember.
I lost you for a second there. What'd you say?
Or maybe it's 2202 that you remember.
No, I mean, I have never finished 2202. I'm actually in the middle of it right now. I have only 2 episodes left to go.
All right. All right.
2202 sucks.
All right.
For real. It's really bad. It juggles like 3 different plots which don't mesh at all. Um, the there's a shaky cam effect applied to the entire series.
Yep.
Like no, I shouldn't say shaky cam. It's like a handheld cam effect. So the camera is constantly like ever so slightly moving, but I see it every time in every scene. It jumps out at me. It doesn't
All right.
feel. I mean, I'm sure that it's the kind of thing that other people can overlook or they don't even notice. But for whatever reason, it just sticks out to me. So I hate that. A lot of the new characters are just really one note. They try
Alright.
they try to humanize the villain from the previous season, like the
Yep.
mass murdering colonialist. It's it's a shit show.
All right. Have you watched the entirety of the 2109 2199?
Oh yeah. I rewatched it this year. I saw it originally like I don't know, 4 years ago or something, 5 years ago.
Yep. I pretty enjoyed that. I enjoyed that more because of how how the plot going. It's have like the grandness of the plot of the story. I feel it's like the Galactic Heroes. So the same grandness,
Oh wow,
the same
dude!
epic feel.
You really need to watch the original OVA of Legends of the Galactic Heroes if that's how you feel,
All right.
rather than these TV and movie remakes.
All right.
Uh, Yamato 2199. Like, dude, I used to love it so much in my head, and now, just no more. I mean, it's okay. It does have some great episodes. Do you remember episode 14 at all?
Nah, not really.
That's the one where it's like the really crazy episode where the priestess, like the alien who has psychic powers, like mentally hijacks the ship, and Kodai and Yuki have to like fight her off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Alright.
there were a whole bunch of dream sequences and stuff.
Not particularly. I think
Oh, wow.
it did ring a bell.
Okay.
All right, go on.
That episode was still really good. There's a string of episodes near the end that are very good. There's some ones near the middle that I thought were kind of lame, like where they go down onto that planet with the giant CG bugs.
Yep.
In order to get like a literal MacGuffin that is completely pointless. I when I saw that was episode I think it was like 15 or 16. When I saw that episode, that was when it started to slip for me.
Right.
So anyway,
Alright.
that's enough complaining about that show.
Yep. So is there any show that you plan to watch or rewatch in the futures?
Yeah, I have a whole schedule lined up for this month and next month.
All right.
But mostly it's going to be the stuff at the top of my list. Because I need to make sure I
lost
get
you
the
there.
order right. Most of the stuff that I'm going to be rewatching over this month and the next month is stuff near the top of my list. Because I need to make sure I have the
Right.
order correct. Like, for example, Shinsekai Yori, I don't know if that should be in... It's at 10th right now. I don't know if it should like drop a couple slots or whatever.
Or improve. Yep.
Yeah, it could even improve, I guess. But that's what I'm planning to rewatch. I'm also gonna rewatch. I'm gonna watch the second season of Concrete Revolution. What else?
All right.
Some other stuff, maybe. I don't know.
All right. For me, I'm gonna try to finish the 3 show. So Hunter x Hunter. I think it's gonna be improved on my list. Hyoge Mono, which is really interesting but a bit hard to get through. Rilakuma, I'm gonna try to finish as well. And Psychopath and Fune Wo Amo. And
Okay.
the show right now I want to rewatch.
All right, that's a good. I know you got some life stuff going on, so it might be hard to
Yeah.
rewatch
Just
some stuff, but
yeah.
that's a good
Got to
goal.
try my best. Yeah.
Yeah, Rilakuma is short. Psychopaths, you're already midway through. Funewa Amu's only 11 episodes. So Hunter x Hunter
For
and Hyogemono will be the big ones.
yep. For this year's note, recommend you to try. Oh, I haven't tried that yet either. Um, the Netflix originals.
Cannon Busters.
Yeah, that's right. Cannon Busters.
Yes, I absolutely plan to watch it. I will have watched it by the next time we do one of these in late November.
All right. Wow. All right. I think that concludes our talk, our discussion today.
Yeah,
Do
we
you have
we
anything?
actually only went like 6 minutes over. It's pretty crazy. We did it.
All right.
So the outro is we're supposed to give our general thoughts. Like, are we happy with the new shared list, or just with the lists in general? Are you happy? Like,
All right. Happy?
what's one show from the shared list that you're mad is not on there?
Oh,
You know,
all right.
if you had to say.
I'm thinking of the Eccentric Family
Right. Okay.
because it's not even on your list. If it's on your list, it would be like on this top 30.
Oh yeah, if it were on my list, then it would get some bonus points and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a chance. I really do. I put the second season on my top 10 of 2017.
Yep.
Maybe I'll try rewatching the second season, and if it's really good, I could find a spot for it on the very bottom of my list or something.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Not-
dude, like
Not
rewatching.
not on the expense of humanity has declined though.
Well, it might have to be one or the other. You never know.
Yep.
Like rewatching it, it did confirm for me what I felt about it the first time. So
Right. Yeah.
feeling the same way about it kind of validated for me where I like hold it in my memory.
Yeah.
So for you, it's the Eccentric Family. Yeah, I mean the Eccentric Family. I've said it 2 times already, but it has a lot of great qualities.
Yeah.
I think it's a good show.
Yep. All right.
For me,
For you, yep. Sting it.
no, like one thing that I want to be on the list that is not on the list.
Yep.
Just the list as it exists now here on the dock. I mean, Funewo Amo, Princess Jellyfish, Rilakuma. Those are all on the bubble,
Yep.
but one. I'm actually gonna go with Silver Spoon, which is actually on the list, but
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising to me that you don't have it ranked anywhere.
Well,
Um,
if I had to rank like my top 55, Silver Pools would definitely be there. It's just like on
Gotcha.
my couple list of, just barely miss out the top 50.
Right. Whereas for me, it's like inching towards the top 10.
Yep.
I rewatched it and I just found it to be, just as
So,
strong. The second
I have
time,
Silver Spoon, I have Watamote, I have One Punch Man, and actually I have Mix on my bubble list.
Damn, really?
Yep.
Whoa, that is insane. Actually, that's
It's
crazy.
not that insane. I enjoy Mix. I enjoy almost every episode of Mix.
Damn. So that means that Mix is probably going to be somewhat high on your list for the year,
Yeah.
like of this
Yep.
year on the blog.
Yeah, that
Huh.
is true.
Well, it's going to be on mine too. So together we might be able to push it into the joint top 10, the same way we did with Tsukigakire,
Yep.
and a bunch of other shows. Honestly, 2 years ago.
But take note that I already have like some of these shows of the 2019 shows on my top 50 list.
No, I thought you only had one, and it was Sarazanmai.
I have Sarazanmai and I have like the second season of Mob Psycho 100. It actually the second
Oh,
season
yeah.
that pump up
I see.
Mob Psycho 100 ranking for me.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Mob Psycho was so low on your list, actually.
Yeah. Just
Because
bad.
when we were doing it on the podcast, like when we were talking about it week by week, you were always more positive on it than I was. I was always criticizing it. And yet I have Mob Psycho ranked higher than you do. That's kind of weird. I mean, honestly, I have it
Up.
mostly on there for its artistic achievement, like visually. That's why it's
Apparently
pretty
you
at
love
30.
it more than I do.
I don't know. Like, dude, that's the thing. I don't even know if that's true. It just occupies a higher spot.
Right.
I kind of feel as though it quote unquote deserves to be there. I don't know.
Yep. All right. Let's wrap up. So next week we're gonna do a special podcast again about previewing our 8 show for the next seasons.
Yeah, we're only doing 8 because there are going to be some latecomers that will almost certainly want to move into the rotation. So no need to do 10.
Yep.
And honestly,
All right.
2 of the shows that we've picked
Yep.
Are kind of sucky, apparently. So we might even want to change one of those or 2 of those. I don't know.
Yep. We might try
we'll talk
to do
it
that.
over.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We know it's a long postcard, but we made it to the end. So
We did
hopefully
it.
you made it as well.
And in less than 2 hours this time.
All right. See you guys.
Take it easy.